Tim to speak now for a bit.
Hi. I think for me as well, like, really similar. God's just been working on my character through the stuff I'm learning. I don't think, like, for me, things don't happen like in an instant, wow, big, amazing thing. But like, God chisels away at the stuff that actually is like rubbish in my character and stuff that's just not pleasing, I guess. And I think just like with Ruth, just the critical and cynical nature that I've built up has stopped me hearing stuff. Like, it stops me hearing the truth and it stops me loving people. And I'm sorry to people that I haven't loved them very well, and I haven't listened to people because I've just kind of built up this like cynical, critical wall that a lot of it's in my head rather than kind of working itself out. But it just makes it really hard to listen to people and to really listen to people. So yeah, like I feel like God's chiseling that away a little bit, and it's good to be challenged on that sort of thing. And like I'd love to be able to chat to people and not judge them because of, you know, their status or what they're doing or whatever. I'd love to be able to listen to people and, you know, not have ideas about who they are and like whether or not I should take what they're saying. Like, of course we need discernment and like wisdom about people, and some people do speak rubbish, but there's a lot of people who don't speak rubbish that I've just ignored because I'm critical and negative about people. So yeah, that's been challenging, you know, really challenging. A little story from this week. I went over to the Colonias, which I'll point out again. Ruth told you about these guys like a few weeks ago, but kind of over here somewhere up in the hills is an area where lots of people live. It's quite poor, and I went up to help at a feeding project up there. I didn't really know what I was going for. When we got there, I spoke to the guy who ran it, and basically it's a guy called Barnabas and his wife Cotty. They've got 3 kids, and a couple of years ago Barnabas felt like God told him to leave his job. He had a pretty good job, that he said, you know, most of the time it put food on the table. Sometimes it was pretty tough, but he left his job and felt like they were meant to start something in their back garden, and so they built it's like a breeze block shed with a tarpaulin for a roof, and every day 20 to 35 kids go to his house and they get fed, they get a meal, and they do activities, they play games, they play football, they do crafts, they listen, they're engaged with, they're showing love. Barnabas and Cotty have no income. Barnabas said since he left his job, he's always been able to put food on the table for his family and 35 other people, which is miraculous. The weekends, they travel 4 hours to Mexicali to help in a children's home. During the week, they help in a women's rehab centre and a children's home here in Ensenada. And honestly, these guys were just maybe the most inspiring people I think I've ever met. Like, just unbelievable how people can live with that much faith, and like they get no recognition. No one knows these guys. They've been praying for 2 years that someone would come and help them, and like they were just so happy that we were there, like helping out just with the kids. You know, we were serving the food, and we were moving. Well, we moved a pile of rocks because they want to extend the breeze block shed, which we soon realised was riddled with black widow spiders. Oh yeah, the real deal. I've never seen them. We were moving these rocks and someone said, "Oh look, there's a spider," and the guy JP who you met earlier was like, "Yeah, that's a black widow, we should probably be a little bit more careful." And turns out there was a nest of them right in the middle of the rocks, so that was a bit freaky, but yeah, like, just, yeah, Barnabas and Cotty were amazing. We're going to go back every week as a group just to support and help and serve food, and like, you can pray for them because they want a van. They're hoping to get a van, like a minibus, I guess, to do stuff with the kids, so you can pray for that, and just, you know, they need people praying for them, watching their back, because they're doing an amazing thing with no support and no recognition, and and that's very, very inspiring. Everything else is pretty good. Ian, Emma and Sarah are just hours away. They arrived, I've spoken to Emma a few minutes ago, they're somewhere in California, so at some point today they will be arriving in Ensenada, which is very exciting. Woo-hoo. So yeah, there we go. There's some thoughts for this week. We love you all and miss you, and just, yeah, we could talk forever about the things going on, but we won't. We'll say goodbye, and we love you all. We'll see you soon.
Love you.
Bye.
Hi, this is Amanda, and she is one of our favourite people on the DTS, and we'll hear more from Amanda and her husband Jake another week, but this is a special message for some people back home.
This is for Chris and Mike, and I just have to let you know how amazingly beautiful and wonderful it is to wear pajamas before it's your bedtime.
Yeah!